Hello everybody. Super good morning. Happy Sunday to everyone. 7:30 in the morning again, and this is your host Kevin Chan bringing you another session live to talk a little bit about the world of Chinese metaphysics. So today we're gonna talk about problem solving, which is one of the most important thing in being successful. You want to be successful, really one point: just solve problem. Right, if you're able to solve problem, confirm you can be successful. That's very easy. So today we're gonna take a look a little bit about the mechanism of solving problem. By the way, right, so you can actually go to a lot of the business school that will actually teach you this. This is part of design thinking class, it's part of the problem solving in design thinking, right? So if you're interested in that, you can go to Harvard Business School or whatever business school. There's a lot of free publication nowadays, and of course, my favorite answer nowadays is that if everything fails, just key everything into ChatGPT and ask him to give you a rough answer. Right, so hello, Pepboy, how are you doing? Right, so I can see that Winnie also wait up, and then Equat is around, super, so that you guys are great. So we are on the third day of the month of November, but we have not entered into the what we call a pig month yet, right? So 7th only we enter into the pig month. So right now it's still under the clash, the dog month, right? So just be careful a bit, right? So there's a lot of things that's happening, and just very recently Taiwan got hit by another typhoon, the second typhoon in the particular month. Wouldn't be fun, right? So you can go and watch a lot of TikToks of how people defended their shop by putting themselves in front of the wind, right? So it's not really a smart thing to do. But anyway, come, let's go in and take a look, right? So as usual, I will interlace a lot of Chinese metaphysics knowledge so that you can help build up your database. The entire intention just to build up your database so that you're familiar with how to associate information with Chinese metaphysics, right? So as usual, right? So Telegram. Telegram is whereby we can chit chat. You can get in touch with me. I put down things for you to download, right? So like for example, right now we are running the manifesting exercise, right? So manifesting exercise today is the third day, right? So you would have received the exercise example, right? So an exercise example, so you can go and do it, right? So the manifestation is at 11 o'clock today, right? So go and join the Telegram to get the graphics. Or if you like to read stuff, right? So the newsletter is basically that, right? So the newsletter is usually it concentrate more on the forecasting, right? So but for those of you who are subscribed in the newsletter, you get the manifesting guide 3 days before, and it is a very lengthy one. Okay. Oh, big hair. Lie. Small head time. Hey. Yes, we go down to the small head version already right now. So thank you, Peggy, for remembering. For reminding me, right? So now, if you like to read stuff, monthly forecast is where you're going to go. That's where the newsletter is. And then you need a community to support you in your journey of learning Chinese metaphysics. Random thing, you might want the rest of the people to give their opinion on, go to the community page, which is just basically a fan page, right? So Facebook there, you can basically do that. All right. So next one, let's take a look at it, right? So if you have not printed your Bazi chart yet, you need a software to print your Bazi chart. You can sign up for the free version with Typing Extra here, right? So I'm working with them right now to improve the front end, right? So and also some efficiency improvement that we are doing, right? So but anyway, right? So if you want to do use this, so today we'll be using this section. Right, so this is what we call a summary section for those of you who are not familiar with how to read the Bazi chart, right? So everybody has natural tendency. So your Bazi chart can actually give you a summary of your natural tendency. You take a look at the green color one is your natal, whereas the red color one is your annual. So annual and natal is different. Natal means that if there's no external disturbance, this is how you are on a natural basis. Annual one is that we factor in the annual coming in energy. It augments a little bit the way that you do things and things. But anyway, right, so we take a look at your natural gravitation. So everybody has a direction that you naturally gravitate towards. So the chart actually tells you that. So today you just need to go and take a look at what is your natural gravitation, and later I will explain to you how to use your natural gravitation to understand your own Bazi chart. Pretty simple, very easy. Right, so come, let's get on to the show, right? So let's see that what is available, right? So to attain success, nothing more than you need to problem solve. I think this one shouldn't be a surprise, isn't it? Right? So, hello Cindy, good morning, good Sunday to you as well. Right? Shouldn't be a surprise that you want to be successful. It is just a process of problem solving, and we actually evolved through this particular process that I'm going to introduce you to. It is not something new. It's not something special. Actually, you don't even need to learn it. You are already doing it. Okay, you are already doing it. The part of it is that you just need to have the realization. Oh, this is basically the process. So, which means that if you can do this particular process, you can understand this particular process, there is no reason why you are not successful, right? The only reason why you are not being able to be successful is that you are not solving problem that is happening around you. Okay, right? So why you are not solving problem, that one I cannot answer for you, right? So because why, I always tell people anything is not happening because you still got enough excuses to stop you from doing it, right? So I always tell people, if there's certain things that I'm not doing right, because I've not run out of excuses yet. Right? People always laugh every time I say that, right? So now one day when I run out of excuses, then I'll start doing it. So AKA it's not painful enough. Okay? Right? So yeah, when things become painful enough, you will change. It's pretty simple, right? So you do not change because it is still bearable, it is still comfortable. That's why you don't change, right? So once it's painful enough, confirm you will change, right? So when will you move your feet away from the nail? Is when it's painful enough. All right, come, let's take a look at the process. So again, right, the process is not something new, right? So it's not something that's completely new, right? So you are doing it, right? So the first step on problem solving, is actually called mimication. Now, every single creature in this particular world begin everything by mimicry, right? So it's called copying other people. You just take a look at babies, little child. What do? Right? Do you think babies, little child can come up with their own solution? No. What they do is that they observe all the adults around them. Right? They observe all the around them. What do? They mimic the adults around them. So it's the first step of survival is basically to be familiar, to look familiar to the rest of the creatures around you. So babies, no way that babies know that they are human. Babies don't know that they are human. Babies, take a look at around, so they observe what is basically being done by people around them, then they mimic. So that's why when you are a baby, you go there and then you say mommy, 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 right? So later you see that the baby will start to call mommy. If you start off with being daddy, 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 later you will see that the baby will start calling daddy, right? So how does a baby learn how to walk? Because they have seen enough of you bipedal creature walking. Oh, you guys walk like that one. Why am I sleeping here? So, as day goes by, the brain will basically start to form a desire for walking, right? So it start to mimic people walking, right? So now you go into a new company when you start to work, right? The first thing you do is that you mimic others, man. You learn from the people around you, right? So how is this particular work being done? You learn. You go to school, what do? You mimic. You open the book, right? When you're reading the book, what are you doing? You are mimicking the information inside the book, right? The entire exam methodology is what? Regurgitating answer that is inside the book. That's what you do. That is called mimicry, right? So now to measure your ability to mimicry is the companion star, which is the Friend and Rockwell. So people with higher Friend and Rockwell quotient, their ability to mimic others become higher. So that's why Friend and Rockwell people, right, usually easier for them to be accepted by the general group. Because why? When they go into the general group, they're very fast. They are able to adopt the culture of the general group. They know how to act lah. It's just basically that they know how to act, right? So they know how to look at people's face, all those kind of things. So the lower the quotient on your companion, right, the lesser your ability to do this mimicry. It's not right, not wrong one. So for you is that right now you're practicing Chinese metaphysics. You can take a look at your own companion level, right? So now companion level can never be zero, right? So you don't have zero companion one, because why? Your own day master is definitely yourself. Okay, so you will definitely have some companion. It's just how big and how small, right? So people who have too high, maybe 100%, 90%, very easy for them to lose themselves, right? So they basically go everywhere. Also they change. So it's a chameleon. So when you are a chameleon, you lose your own identity. A lot of time you lose your own identity. So there is no such thing as too bad or too good. It's just for you to know that, hey, you know, this is my level and what do I need to do. So for you to be successful, right, first thing that you need to do is to learn how to copy people, not anything else. Do not try to be innovative, right? Because why? And it's just very, very simple. Because why, right? So again, you know, this a lot has to do with, you know, how we grew up, you know, the thousands of years of how things in, right? So if you go out there is a lion, somebody what we call survive the lion and come back and tells you that there's a lion out there, right? What are you gonna do? Go and discover the lion again? No, you ask that particular fella, how did you survive? This is where you start to mimic the other person. Oh no, when you see the lion or the lion look like this, then you know you go here and there is actually this particular tree or this particular big rock that you can climb, blah blah blah, whatever it is, right? So you start to see. So the next time when you see lion, you do exactly the same. If you're saying that, you know, it was supposed to climb this tree and you know you'll be able to survive, or you know, you jump into this particular river, you can survive. You know, please don't jump into the river. A lion can swim. One lion is a better swimmer than you. Right, so you can see all the mimicry, right? So start business also is the same. When you start business that time, right? Don't go and start a business whereby you know nobody is doing. Start a business where everybody is doing. That's how business start, right? So now you see biggest economy in this particular world right now, China. How did China begin? Copy other people's product. No, they are like the, you know, grand central of piracy. Yeah, China is the grand central of piracy. At least it used to be. But right now, can you see that if they did not copy other people's product to begin with, today they cannot be at the cutting edge of 5G. Right now, China is the leading technologies in 5G. China is the leading technologies in EV cars. A lot of things right now that they are basically in leading technology. Even in computer chip right now, they are the one that's leading the market. But they begin by copying, right? So you need to have the skill set. Everything begin by copying, right? Copying, one thing is that reading book is actually copying. Watching other people content is copying, right? Learning from another, paying money and go and learn is basically copying. Right, you can see, right? So it's basically called the entire idea of mimic. Mimic is very simple, making another copy of yourself. Simple, right? So this is the first step. So you want to do anything at all, you know, if you really want to be successful, convince yourself that the first step is to mimic and copy. This is where you read, watch content, sign up for classes. These are all mimicking, right? These are called mimicking. Nothing is original from you right now. You're just taking in and, you know, see that, you do this, I do this. Right, so cooking also is the same. You know, your mom teach you how to cook. How does your mom teach you how to cook? You look at I cook, then you cook. Mimic, right? So you see your mom throw this in, you also throw this in. All right. So you see that they put this in, you also put this in. You see your mom click this much fire is this much fire. You do this much fire is the same, right? So like the recipe that you have for cooking, that is for you to mimic. Correct or not? The recipe tell you, you know, 150 grams of whatever powder it is, you know, 2 eggs, you know, you do exactly the same, you know, for 150 grams, you throw 150 grams of whatever tapioca powder, this, then you said that crack 2 eggs, then you crack 2 eggs. That is called mimicking, nothing more than that. Every single creature in this world start off with mimicking. You know, when you are small that time, it's part of your face, right? Every single children who want to survive will mimic, right? So that's why you can see that, you know, a children raised by Chinese, you know, we talk in a Chinese way. Children that's raised by an Indian will talk in an Indian way. Children that's raised by an American will talk in an American way. So why does a Chinese, right? So, you know, Chinese, you know, I'm a bit more familiar because I'm Chinese. You know, there's this thing called American-born Chinese. ABC la Chok Sing, right? So Chok Sing, you know, they are raised by American, right? So if you speak to them, you can straight away identify that this is not a normal Chinese. Even Chinese raised in Malaysia, Chinese raised in China, Chinese raised in what we call Australia. Now, Chinese is the one of the most diverse creature in the entire planet, right? So you can find Chinatown in almost any single country in this particular world. You will find Chinatown. Correct or not? So, but you can see that every single Chinese that is raised in different places, right, is different. Why? Because they mimic different things. They have to mimic the local. For them to survive in that particular place, they have to mimic the local, right? So if the local got this sort of culture, it's like if they speak in this sort of way, right? So like for example, America, it is very apparent the what we call the black culture, ghetto culture. Those people in ghetto, when they talk to each other, they got this specific style. So anybody who grow up there, right, have this style of speaking. Why? You need to survive there, man. That's called mimic. Right? That's basically called mimicry, right? So mimicry is just copying whatever other people doing. So the first step of any successful thing is you have to copy other people's things, right? So now Chinese metaphysics is basically in the companion style, measurement in the companion style. So what is the next step? Right? So what's the next step? So Chinese very simple. After companion style is what style? That is very simple. After companion style is basically your output. So companion produce output. So output is basically the entire thing called exploration or possibility. Now you start to explore possibility. Once you mimic already, you are accepted, you have some footing, you know what the hell is happening. Right? You know what the hell is happening. Now you start to explore. Right? Now you start to explore other things. Right? So same, children, what happened? After they have finished mimicking how to walk, they walk all over the places. Once they acquire the ability to walk, the mobile ability, now what happened? They disappear, you see? Right? They don't ask for your permission. They disappear, right? So now now that you can't find them anymore, right? They with the small feet, and then they just, it's exploration phase. They try to find out what the hell they can do, right? So same thing also, with their little hand. First they mimic like you grab thing, right? Mimic like grab thing. Once they have finished mimic so you grab thing, now that they know how to grab thing already, they explore grabbing everything. Correct or not? They explore, go and grab everything, Oh, power plug, let's play with the power plug. Right? So same thing, right? So, you go through the entire process of exploration. Same thing also, when you finish mimicking something, then you start to explore, right? So let's say in your career, right? So you go into your first position, new position, doesn't know. You try to learn as much as possible. You try to go into the culture as much as possible. Learn is what? You go and take a look at manual. That's where you mimic. Manual SOP, these are for you to mimic. They tell you this is how normal things work. Once you can control the manual, you understand the SOP. What do? You start to explore. You start to do things that that was not inside the manual. So now you can go and explore. Same thing also. Once you know how to run away from the tiger, what do? You try to explore other places. Try to explore other places. Then you might discover something more than tiger. Right, so this is the EG and hurting officer, right? EG and hurting officer, the output star is always in charge of the creativity, right? The creativity part, the exploration part, vision part of things, right? So, which means that if let's say your EG and HO is a bit output on the higher side, so your capability of exploring is actually much more higher. So you got the higher level of acceptance towards things that is unfamiliar. Exploration is just basically the acceptance of things that is unfamiliar, right? So you go and explore. So that's why EG is more into the creativity side, whereas the hurting officer is something that's pretty much okay with exposing yourself to whatever unknown is out there, So the fella like attention, we call hurting officer. And you can also see that eating called a hurting officer usually is pretty crappy at following status quo, right? They are usually very crappy at doing that, right? So because why? They just want to go and explore, right? So they're just going to look at more possibility that's out there. It's an important part. So first you mimic so that you have a good footing, right? So now that you can do something in a correct manner, right? So what do you next thing you do? Go and explore other stuff. You start business also is the same. So first you mimic people sell bubble tea, right? So you take a look at the bubble tea industry, right? So it started off with selling bubble tea very hot bubble tea, right? So then after they sell bubble tea, another place also starting to sell bubble tea. Then after some time, right, the fella said that how about I explore selling different product, right? So then they see that bubble tea got a bit of a problem. A lot of things in bubble tea is artificial, too sweet. So what happened is that then you get a version of tea which is tea with fruits tea, flavored tea, we call fruit tea, but it's not as sweet as your bubble tea, and you can see the fruit, so it's a little bit more original, right? So then after a while the fruit teas also have their problem, right? Fruit tea also have their problem. Then you go for the pure tea, right? So pure tea is basically your cha tea, right? So your cha tea is your pure tea, and then you got your what we call Malaysia is called tea life, right? So those are what we call flavored tea. right? So you see that the thing evolved because there was an exploration that is happening. Same thing with anything. You start your business also is the same, right? You start your business first, you mimic what other people. You find somebody, of course, you find somebody who is successful to mimic. Right? The fella do this, you do exactly the same. Then once you do this, you do exactly the same. You can have a footing, you survive. Next thing is to explore already. Next thing is to do that. Should I do this? Should I do that? Go and try. This is where when you try, you start to find out that I'm actually better at doing this than doing that. Right? The thing that you mimic might not be the best, but it gives you survival. It gives you survival. Once you have survival already, then you can explore. Right? So then, it's like, if you're going out there to hunt for things, that, hey, hunting deer seems to be very difficult. Hunt rabbit seems to be, I'm more okay. Or some people, say that, I'm better at hunting fish. So that's why there's fishermen. Right? Because fishermen is just basically people who feel like, hunting on the dry land is something that they are not very good at. They happen to be very good at hunting in the water. So they become fishermen. Right? So this is the part whereby you discover what you are good at. Same thing with study, right? So let's say you go into study, what does the school do? The school flood you with every single subject, right? The one that I favorite tell people is trigonometry. So why does the school teach you trigonometry? How to calculate triangle, okay? Right? How to find out the degree in a triangle. That's basically what trigonometry does. When was the last time you used it? Never. But it's the exploration phase of a person growing up. Everybody go through this exploration phase. You go and try this, try that out. Right? So now exploration, nothing more than expanding what you try. That's all. Pretty simple. Right? So you already know something that's on the core. You go and explore the rest. Right? So in Chinese metaphysics, this is EG and HO, right? So which is called output. So you can go and take a look at your output. So if your output is in the healthy level, healthy is 30 to 80%, it's called healthy level. Anything above 80%, usually it start to go wonky. Anything lesser than 30%, I couldn't even get it started. Right? Like example for me, my output is 0, so I don't bother with this stuff. I don't find, exploration as something that is, invigorating. That's all. So you have to first understand yourself first. If you know that, exploration is not something that's very invigorating with you, aka I'm not a very creative person. So what do? Number one is that you can force yourself to be creative, which is not a good path for long-term purpose. Short-term is okay. Number two, find somebody else to do all the creative stuff. Get done. Right? Today is very easy to solve problem. Right? Today is very easy to solve problem. It's either you learn it or you pay someone else to do it. Right? Get somebody who is a little bit more higher quotient on creativity, and you tell them that, hey, I got this done. How do you think I can do it better? Right? So just send it over to that person. The other person will give you the opinion. Right? So when the person's output is higher than you, anybody output higher than you will be a better advisor than you. Right? You don't try to style yourself. Right? You don't try to have opinion of yourself, right? So those are the things that you are doing. Like for example, the slide that you're looking at, these are through copying there. Right? So you can just buy slide. That slide you can buy. This one, buy back one. Okay, right? So you sign up for one of those slide provider. They will send you slide every month. Every month, we got slide for this, slide for this, slide for this. Just take out and use. Right? Nothing wrong with man. Okay? So I didn't come up with this. It was not my creativity because I don't have. Right? I already know I don't have. Right? So it's either I force myself to do it or what. Right? So same thing. Right? So first you mimic so that you get a footing. You are safe. You are surviving. Then next thing, go out and explore. Right? So the purpose of exploring is to find out which of the things that you have explored is a better option than whatever that you have copied. This is where you go into the path of what we call uniqueness. Right? So part of uniqueness. Right? So the part of being what we call innovative, right? So you try to improve yourself a little bit. You have to go for exploration first. So to measure exploration, you go EG, right? So for example, if let's say that next year the snake, which is the fire, is your EG, so you are a wood person, right? So let's say that you are jia wood or eat wood. So next year is the year of fire. Wood produce fire. So that next year you either got an EG or a HO. So that next year is a good year for you to explore. It's not easy. It's not difficult to read, So, but you need to understand this first, that EG and HO encompasses the entire exploration phase. Then when you see that, hey, this is the time whereby my EG and HO is active. So it's a good time for me to do exploration. So what do you want to explore? Up to you. Doesn't matter. It's your problem what you want to explore, because you need to know where that you want to go. If you want to start a business, right? So you start a business, ask yourself first, have you mimicked other business? Have you successfully mimicked other business? Successfully mimic other business, the next phase is to go and explore, right? Do exploration. Then after you've gone do exploration, number 3 is basically to focus. Now you got option. So see right now, let's say that you have done your exploration, you come back with, how many is this? 12, 16. Right, so you come back, you have this 16 plethora of option right now, right? So now here's the thing, you can't do all of them, right? So you cannot do all of them, because why? You don't have enough resource. If you have got enough resource to do all of them, right, then go do all of them, right? So I tell you now this is the part whereby a lot of people may call it niching the place, right? Now niching is only required if you are lacking of resource. And everybody is lacking of resource. Either you're lacking of time, lacking of manpower, lacking of money is the one that is usually right. So the wealth star, right? So the direct wealth, direct wealth, indirect wealth, right? So it's the energy that is attacking out. You can see now, it's the energy that's basically attacking out. It's the conquering energy. It's the energy that overwhelms. So it's the energy that get tasks done. So how much energy do you have? You don't have much. So you need to learn how to focus, right? So learn how to focus. So now this one, is again, small child, you copy, then after that you go out and, learn everything. Then after you learn everything already, you reach the stage whereby, university, university, what happened? You have to choose your major, right? Yeah, you have to go in there, maybe you want to study law, maybe it is true all the loose subject that you are studying. So when you're studying the loose subject, you find that your mathematics score is higher. Then the choosing of mathematic-based career is open to you. You can see, so if let's say that your literature score is higher, those literature-based, then literature-based work is better. If your science is better, then science-based. Like my daughter, my daughter got natural talent in drawing. Right, so you got natural talent in drawing. What should I do? Ask her to become lawyer. Cannot lah. Right? Cannot. Right? So is you need to somehow convince and develop her in the direction of drawing. Right? So you just now figure out what to do only so that she doesn't go into hunger. Which is a different task, which is a difficult task, by the way. Right? So that's what direct wealth and indirect wealth does. Right? So direct wealth, indirect wealth has the ability to focus. So for those people who have high direct wealth, indirect wealth, they would basically find that this particular part become much more easier. And by the way, people pay you for things that you're good at. So that's why wealth star happen to be the star that technically speaking earn the most. Technically speaking only, at least in the olden day. Right? So today is a bit different. So direct wealth, indirect wealth has nothing to do with money. So don't be too confused with the thing. A lot of people, just because of the wealth word, right? So they assume that, this is how to measure wealth. No, today doesn't work, right? So direct wealth, indirect wealth definitely measure a person's ability to get the work done, right? So your determination, your focus is there, right? So what is focus? Focus is just basically find the one that is most significant, right? So easy way to measure this is which of this activity earn you most money. Ta-da! That's easy lah. No, people are willing to pay you the money, means that it is something valuable. Money is actually the easiest measurement of anything at all, right? So just ask yourself lah, if that thing is not valuable to you, will you pay money for it? Right? So you can see, I always give an example for people is a bowl of noodle itself, right? So I confirm that you can basically make the bowl of noodle if you want to. Right? But you just couldn't be bothered to making the noodle because there's just too many work there that you do not want to get involved with. So what do? You go out and buy a bowl of noodle that other people has prepared. So the other person are willing to do all the things that you are not willing to do. You want the bowl of noodle, you pay the other person. Simple enough, only like that, right? So that trick is very easy to do, right? That's the only reason why you do this. Right? So same thing for you to be successful, right? So first you mimic, then you explore. After you explore already, you need to take a pick. Right? So now what is your criteria of picking? That one is up to you. Now, to me, is that I'm just telling you the most obvious matrix of choosing things happen to be money. If people are willing to pay you big buck for this particular thing, then I think you are pretty competent in doing this thing. It's well worth for you to basically invest more of your what we call resources available into improving this thing, improving higher quality of the things, right? So that's what you do, right? Can see, right? So this is where you start to choose your profession. You're going to choose your profession so that when you go out to the society, you are able to what we call make a living, right? So make a living, right? So business also is the same, so first you start copying, then you expand a bit, you explore here, explore there, right? So now business exploring also including like okay, so I explore, let's say PJ, then I explore Shah Alam, then I explore Puchong, explore a bit, then you find out that the Puchong branch happen to be the branch that make the most money. So now what you do? You focus and expand Puchong. No brainer one, right? You focus and expand Puchong, right? So if let's say that it was a Johor, KL, and Penang, and you find that whatever that you're doing, Penang happen to be a bigger market. So there are more buyer in Penang, right? So what do? You focus on Penang, right? No brainer one, right? This sort of stuff. So you want to be successful, you need to know how to concentrate your firepower to a place whereby it makes sense. Right, concentrate on firepower on the place that it basically makes sense to you, right? So this is what being focused basically means. So this is the third step. So once you're being focused already, next thing is to organize, right? So organize is the influence starting, right? So organizing means what, right? So I want to do this. What are the components that's required to stabilize this thing? At this part, usually a lot of people when they start business, they screw up a lot in this particular part. They just doesn't know what are the components that's required. A lot of people do project, right? So that's why DO and 7 Killing is a lot of times very project management driven skill set, right? So it's basically all control. Influence is a control. Why is it control? Now influence is you can call the opposite of direct well. Direct well is I attack out. Influence style is other people attack me, right? So other people attack me, then it's a different ball game. I need to know how to control stuff. So I need to know how to deploy army, I need to know how to, train people, where to develop. And these are all under the entire thing called control or organization, right? So organization means that, if I want to do this, let's say that, if I want to sell this particular tea, right? So tell the particular, do you need to know that where the tea come from? Some people want to sell something, they don't know where the thing come from. They don't know where the source is. Right, so then do you need to know who is going to prepare the tea? Is it going to be you or someone else? If someone else is going to prepare the tea, does the person know how to prepare the tea? Yeah, all these things you need to know, right? So know how much is it required to run this thing, how much salary is basically required. A lot of people doesn't know this. A lot of people has, a lot of dreams, like, I want to organize a, like for example, I'm organizing a, you want to call excursion, right? So yeah, I'll be taking a bunch of fellow to Ipoh for, some holiday. It's how difficult to do, right? Yeah, all the things that need to organize, people say, let's do that things, right? Then I ask you to go and do, you go to me. I have to do like this one, got like that one, but this one I don't know, right? Don't know, go learn, right? So that's the biggest problem. A lot of people will not want to do something, right? They don't know what needs to be done, and they don't go and find out, right? Organization is basically go and see, what is around that is required, what are all the attachment that's required, right? So now in business, pretty simple. You definitely need finance, definitely need sales, marketing, definitely need operation. All these can copy one or not? Do you think that there's a company out there who is successful that has a finance department, that has a marketing sales department, that has an operation department, some might have safety department, whatever department? Can you go and find out that, that is called mimic law? Mimic, you start law, then explore a bit, how is this one, that one, if I'm going to do this sort of business, some business might not need this, might not need that, right? So, you have to go and explore. Then after explore already, you need to know which is the, area you want to go. Then to further enhance and make this particular area work in more smoother manner, you need to know what are the components around this particular area that is required. right? So product manufacturing is a little bit more easier to understand. To produce this particular product, what are the equipment, machinery that is required? Who is supposed to run this? What training is required to put in so that the person who basically run this can run this? Where does the raw material come in? Right? Where can I source the more raw material? Right? So what's the difference between this raw material and that? If this particular raw material is not working, what other? Right? So finances, how do I collect the money? How do I sell? Marketing, all those things. All these things you need to know. Right? This is called organization skill set. So for you to take a look whether your organization skill set is okay, not okay, take a look at your influence star. If your influence star is non-existent in your chart, your organization skill set is, oh my god. Okay, yeah. By the way, if your DO 7 killing is really, not very trustable. It's not the honesty trust type of thing. It's just that, if it's very low one, right, chances are a lot of things drop in your hand. That is the not trustable thing. You go like, yeah, this one, oh yeah, need to be like that one. That one, 7K DO. Right? Not very reliable, type of person, right? So you leave them to run. So like if you are hiring somebody who is gonna run your operation, right? So you want DO 7K a bit more high. They are called executioner. Yep, their job is to DO 7K last time his job is to decide who live, who die. Yeah. So it's called executioner. So of course right now we don't execute. The execute is getting the work done, put the work, settle the work, right? So it's basically organization skill set. So you can see all this is important and it is identifiable in your Bazi chart. So if you open up your Bazi chart, you already know which area you are superior in, what are the area that is basically stuck. Right. So last part of it is basically sharing. Right, sharing with others. Right. So you can see after this, you have all the knowledge, everything to do already, right? Do you think the other people have it? Right? Unless you're a one-man or organization, right? So now we go back to the part whereby you mimic, right? You mimic from who? You can only mimic from a person who is sharing with you. The book is written by who? The book is written by somebody who wants to share the knowledge. That's why the book exists. That's why you get to take the book and read. Right? Content come from who? You watch a YouTube video today. It's because I'm willing to share and teach. Best way to learn is to teach. Right? So can see that the cycle basically go into a closed loop itself. So that one is basically the resource star. So the resource star is the source star of knowledge, by the way. Right? So it's a star of knowledge. It has to do with supporting and everything. This is the part whereby the guy who went out, meet the lion, survive, come back, sit at the fireplace and start to tell you guys story about lion look like this one. If this was the first time the entire clan met a lion. Right, so this one you need to imagine we're gonna go for interstellar, things. You land on a planet, you do not know what the planet is. There was this particular show, I think Japanese show, they send some cockroaches to Mars. Right, the cockroaches survive and they evolve rapidly. Right, so then when they send human over there, right, the cockroaches basically see them and kill them. Right, so the people doesn't know that the cockroaches that has ultra evolved is dangerous. So when they landed, they think that we are human, very superior. Go down on it, die straight away. Right, so for those humans who survive, right, who survive the entire cockroach onslaught, they are able to send signal back to planet Earth and tell them that, hey, the planet got this ultra evolved cockroach that is killing anybody who's landing there. Right, so right now that's called sharing. Right, so sharing, the entire idea is that you have something, your business, you also need to share. Because why? Not everybody have the knowledge inside. You have to make sure that everybody is aligned. This is through the entire process of sharing. Right, so tell me, if you can do all of this, can you solve the problem? Right, there is a problem, right? So like example, there's a problem that's basically happening right now. Now you can see anything that's happening in this particular world now, nothing is unique. Your problem are not unique. Only you think is unique. A lot of people think, my problem is different. Where got different one? I confirm to you, your problem, right? Other people have bigger problem than you. Right. So which means that your problem, someone else in this world has already solved it. Go find that particular person. You want to start business, somebody else started the business already, right? The fellow is successful, right? Copy from the fellow, right? Pretty easy. First step, right? Copy from successful people. Then after you have got a bit of a footing, you somehow roughly know how to run a business, like that. Then you start to explore. Right, so start to do this. This is where you start to become unique, right? So you need to start the exploration phase. Then after you explore already, you focus. You've done all your exploration. You find out that, hey, this particular path I'm doing better. So in business, is that after you copy already, you find out that, hey, the fella is not covering this particular part of the business, or this particular part of the business is this particular person's weakness. So I want to break into the market. I need to be better at this particular person's weakness side. So my offering is exactly where the person's weakness is. Right, that's basically focus. So when you focus, you decided that this is what you're going to do, then you need to take a look at it. To get this done, what are the things that's around it that need to be around? So AKA mean that, you got a fish. Right, so let's example go to market. First of all, you want to cook, first thing is that you have to go market. Right? Because why? I see that the other person who's cooking go market. Go market, right? So go market, then you explore the market. Right? So what ingredient you need. After you walk everything already, fish look interesting, focus. So now everything, right? So now to cook the fish, what is required? This is called organization skills. Right? So you can see everything that you actually do revolve around this particular process, nothing more than that. So if you learn how to do this particular process again and again, you apply it to everything that you are doing, you'll be able to solve every single problem that comes to you. So if you're able to solve every single problem that comes to you, tell me you're successful or not successful. Right? It's the same. Sharing information to people and copying from another people is just two sides of the coin. It's the same. Right? So you offer the knowledge out to other people. Difficult, man. Not very difficult, man. Right? So in Chinese metaphysics, this is your model. Can you see that it is just a very general production model? One produce another, and in the end, it will come back in a full circle. Right? So you just have to spin this circle enough time. Every single time you spin, the circle become bigger. You become more competent, it's called. You become bigger. This area, I don't know, find somebody to copy, then I explore, then I focus. After focus, I organize. After organize, I share. Ta-da! Done. Okay, not very difficult, right? So now, of course, whether you want to do, don't want to do, cannot force you to do so, right? So, but this is how things is being done. If you're interested to being successful, I give you the model to be successful, right? So this is practiced in a lot of successful business school that teach this as part of design thinking, problem solving. All right, guys, that's it. See you guys again. Tomorrow there will be no broadcast, right? So I'll be in Penang tomorrow, right? So see you guys. Bye.